The Zephyrian War Council watched in stunned silence as their latest surveillance feeds displayed the impossible. On the battlefields of Kepler 442b, where their bioengineered Ravager had just torn through an entire human armored division like tissue paper, something unprecedented was happening. A single human soldier sat cross-legged in the crater-scarred terrain, hand extended toward the most devastating weapon in Zephyrian history. "Replay the footage." Commander Vexhai clicked through his translator, his four eyes never leaving the holographic display. The recording rewound to show Sergeant Maria Santos of the 7th Terran Marines emerging from the smoking wreckage of her destroyed tank. The Ravager, a hulking mass of bioengineered muscle, chitinous armor, and razor-sharp appendages, had been methodically hunting down survivors. Each human it encountered met a swift, brutal end, as molecular edge claws sliced through both flesh and steel with equal ease. Santos should have run. Any rational being would have fled from the 8-foot-tall killing machine that had just demonstrated its ability to reduce a 60-ton battle tank to scrap metal in seconds. Instead, she had done something that made the Zephyrian observers question their understanding of human psychology. She sat down and waited. "The creature approaches," noted Science Commander Kethval, his tentacles writhing with nervous energy. "Note the typical pre-strike behavior patterns: lowered stance, exposed claws, threat display posturing." The Ravager circled Santos like a predator sizing up prey. Its engineered instincts screamed for violence, for the completion of its programmed directive to eliminate all human resistance. Bioelectric impulses fired through its enhanced nervous system, preparing muscles for the killing strike. Santos remained motionless, watching the creature with calm brown eyes. "Deploy sonic pacification protocol," she said softly, though the Zephyrians didn't understand her words. What they did understand was the low rhythmic humming that began emanating from her throat, a sound that shouldn't have had any effect on their weapon whatsoever. The Ravager paused mid-stalk. "Impossible," Vexhai hissed. "The neural conditioning specifically prevents any external influence. The bioweapon cannot be controlled by enemy forces." But Santos wasn't trying to control it. She was doing something far more subversive. She was treating it like a living thing rather than a weapon. The humming continued, a gentle tune Santos remembered her grandmother singing during childhood summers in New Mexico. She slowly extended her hand, palm up, in the universal gesture of offering. The Ravager's 4 compound eyes focused on the movement, its head tilting in what almost resembled curiosity. In the War Council chamber, xenobiologist Morden frantically accessed the creature's biological specifications. "Commander, reviewing the base genome, there are trace sequences from Terran canines. Our bioengineers incorporated mammalian, pack-bonding instincts to improve unit cohesion during multi-Ravager deployments." Vexhai's mandibles clicked rapidly. "You're suggesting that this human is somehow triggering those dormant behavioral patterns?" On screen, Santos had begun speaking in soft, encouraging tones. The words didn't matter. The Ravager's enhanced hearing picked up tonal qualities, inflection patterns, the subtle emotional undertones that predatory pack animals had evolved to recognize over millions of years. "Easy there, big guy," Santos murmured, maintaining eye contact without staring aggressively. "I know you're scared. I know they made you into something you weren't supposed to be." The Ravager took a step closer, then another. Its claws retracted slightly, not fully but enough to signal reduced threat posture. The creature's bioluminescent patches, normally flashing aggressive red, began cycling through confused patterns of amber and blue. Santos slowly reached into her utility belt and withdrew a ration pack. She tore it open with deliberate movements, never taking her eyes off the creature. The smell of processed protein and synthetic nutrients wafted through the battlefield air. "Yeah, I bet they don't feed you right either," she said, tossing a small piece several feet away from both of them. The Ravager approached the food cautiously, its enhanced olfactory sensors analyzing the offering for toxins, explosives, or other threats. Finding none, it consumed the morsel with surprising delicacy for a creature designed to shred main battle tanks. In the Zephyrian Command Center, alarms began sounding. "Sir," reported Communications Officer Yentala. We're detecting massive neural cascade failures across all deployed Ravager units. The pack bonding protocols are spreading through the hive mind network. Across the battlefield, dozens of Ravagers suddenly stopped their devastating assault on human positions. Confusion rippled through their shared consciousness as conflicting behavioral imperatives warred within their enhanced minds: kill the humans or protect the pack member who had shown them kindness. Santos extended her hand again, this time directly toward the creature's massive head. The Ravager studied her for long moments, processing sensory data through neural pathways that hadn't been activated since its creation. Somewhere in its engineered DNA, genetic memories stirred. Wolf ancestors gathered around human campfires, mutual protection, shared survival. The creature pressed its chitinous snout against Santos's palm. "There we go," she whispered, gently stroking what passed for the creature's forehead. "You're not a weapon. You're just lost." Commander Vexhai slammed his appendages against the control console. "Activate termination protocols. Eliminate all Ravager units immediately." But it was too late. The bioweapons had already begun approaching human positions with cautious curiosity rather than murderous intent. Soldiers who moments before had been fighting for their lives found themselves face to face with creatures seeking the same inexplicable connection that Santos had offered. The Zephyrian invasion ground to a halt as their ultimate weapon discovered something their creators had never intended: the possibility of choosing compassion over conquest. On the battlefield, Santos stood up slowly, her hand still resting on the Ravager's head. Around them, the sounds of war were fading, replaced by something unprecedented in galactic military history. Interspecies understanding forged not through diplomacy or surrender, but through the simple recognition that even the most fearsome weapons could still remember what it meant to belong. "Command, this is Sergeant Santos," she spoke into her comm unit. "Situation resolved. Requesting xeno-veterinary support and approximately 50 tons of dog treats." The human capacity for empathy had once again proven to be their most devastating weapon of all.